You are now live with me, G3, and tonight in my continuing Queens Only series and now Couples series, we are going to have as our first guests tonight, our first and only Miss World Philippines, Miss World 2013, Megan Young, and her husband, actor, host, and model, Mikael Daez. But before that, I want to thank my friends who always help me and support me in every episode. First of all, I want to thank Nerik Beltran for my beautiful top. It's Gusot Mayaman. And I want to thank Mix Mojo PH for sending me their summer flavors, Tequila Sunrise, Mango Daiquiri, and Summer Soju, which I'm drinking right now. Cheers! If you want to taste the new flavors, just simply order from Mix Mojo PH on Instagram. I also want to thank Anastasia of Beverly Hills for my makeup tonight. I want to thank Christy McGarry for sending them. I feel like a contestant from RuPaul's Drag Race because this is the makeup that they use. So anyway, let us check who is here. So Megan and I have been friends for a while. Us girls days pa. Oh my God, Studio 23. Hi, hello. Let us check if she is here. What did I do there? She is here. Friends, lovers, please welcome Miss World 2013, Megan Young and Mikael Daez.
Hi,
G3.
Fofo.
Hey,
I like that. That's a good
Hi,
start.
Bones and Fofo.
Hey, G3. What's up from Bones and Popo?
I know, like you're wearing lashes.
Diba? Sabi ko nga sa'yo, nag-prepare ako ng lashes because I saw your past episode. Sabi ko, nako, hindi ako pwedeng hindi mag-lashes dahil si G3, bongga ang lashes.
Super na-flatter ako naghanda ka. And ikaw rin, Mikael, you really prepared also. You're very cute.
Diba?
Well, unfortunately, I don't have lashes. I would have if I was told.
Kamusta ang Subic? Ang init na, diba?
Actually, mainit pa rin sa Manila because we're actually still in Manila right now.
Oh, right.
But we are planning our move to Subic hopefully this year. And it's pretty cool kasi, syempre, that's where I grew up. I went to high school there. So we're really excited for that future move for us.
Is it going to be a very big move? How big is your house going to be in Subic?
Not that big. We don't want a big house. Because a big house means a lot of maintenance.
Oo.
Chill lang. Sakto lang.
Pagdating sa amin ni Mikael, we like to keep things, I guess, parang on a low down kasi ayaw namin ng high maintenance sa lugar. Kasi knowing us, we want everything in one space. And that really came to life when Mikael first went to his lock-in for taping for 2 weeks. And I actually stayed with him. And he was like,
Oh, wow.
parang gusto ko na...
My PA.
Yeah, I was his PA.
Miss World 2013.
Ginawain ko siya sa taping, pero sa kwarto lang ako. And he was like, I like that everything's within reach. Diba? Housewife na housewife talaga ang peg ko noon.
But you were living with him and his brothers for a while, diba? What is it like living with a group of guys in a lockdown situation?
Yeah. Lockdown situation, hindi kami makalabas ng bahay. And it was actually my first time living with a lot of men.
Yes.
Because in my family, parang kami lang nila Lauren and my brother Victor.
Yeah.
Timer kasi ako for live with G3. So anyways, it was very intense. Like you could really feel the manly energy. I don't know how else to put it. But when we would go to bed at night, lagi kong sinasabi kay Mikael na grabe yung energy pag puro lalaki yung kasama mo. First time ko talaga maranasan.
Yeah, it is very different. Megan's family, I would say, is a bit more on the dainty side. And then my family would be more on the aggressive, pamacho side. So it was a new experience talaga for her. It was shocking to say the least for you.
Yeah, a bit shocking.
Yeah, and you have a lot of brothers. Where are you in the family? What's your placement in the family?
I'm number 2 out of 9, and we are 7 boys and 2 girls. So
Wow.
talagang
Your parents got busy.
a lot of testosterone. My mom was a factory on and on lang. Go lang ng go.
I told Megan this before. I had this huge crush on your uncle Jaime Daez.
Yeah.
Ganun katanda yung reference.
Oh, okay, okay. Hindi naman yata kayo magkaedad.
Pero naalala ko dati pa eh. Parang sabi ko, oh my God, this is the owner of Bibliarc. Parang ganun, di ba? He owns a bookstore.
Yeah, that's it.
Sobrang perfect. Gwapo, tapos may-ari ng bookstore, ganyan, ang daming libro, ganyan, everything. But of course, like everyone's been asking Megan about her Miss World 2013 experience. But I want to know what the experience was like for you, Mikael. Kasi di ba, syempre, a lot of beauty queens, when they reach that, crowning glory, nawawala yung jowa. Parang, oh my God, suddenly they realize na parang my dreams are bigger than, my romantic inclinations. But the two of you were able to, weather it, parang na-survive niyo siya and you're still together and you got married. What was the Miss World experience like for you, Mikael?
For me, it was pretty obviously very unique. I mean, she was the first Miss World of the Philippines. But for me, it actually gave me a chance to work and focus on my work.
Yeah.
Because at that time, I was 2.5 years into GMA. And I was still learning the ropes because I was coming from talagang zero knowledge in terms of skills to be successful, like acting, singing, dancing, everything, hosting. I had nothing. I was starting from zero.
Yeah, galing
So,
sa management background.
You don't learn that in a year, at least not in my case. So I had to work hard on it. And during the time that Bones was away, I really took that time to focus on my own work. And we had an agreement that, you know what, you be the best Miss World that you can be. And I'm going to try and figure out if I can stay in showbiz.
Yeah.
So,
I think the first time I saw you was on Temptation Island. I think I saw that in the movie house. So I go, who is this guy? And then I find out that
yeah, I know. That was my very first project, actually.
This very first project na never ko pa napanood.
Hindi mo pa napapanood? Oh my God, it's such a commitment. Like the
I know.
people in that cast, they were so committed to the roles and it was so funny. And he was one of the cast. So parang super, yun yung awareness ko of Mikael. Of course, you have been together for quite a while now. How long have you guys been together?
Ooh.
Going on 11.
Going on 11. So we've been together for 10 years this year. So
Oh my
it's coming 11 years. Akalain mo yun. It's cool because we actually grew up together. And when I first met Mikael, ang lagi nasa isip ko nun, magiging boyfriend ko kaya to or husband in the future. So when you think about these things, like, pampakilig lang, di ba? Parang, siya na kaya? Hindi ko alam eh. Basta mag-enjoy ako. So it's pretty cool to think na I had these thoughts before and now we're actually married.
First impressions.
Ooh, first impression.
Lasalista, di ba magkaiba?
Yeah, magkaiba.
Yeah, but lasalista ka ba when I met you?
I was in school. I went to CSB kasi. But I don't think I'm your typical lasalista kasi I was working at that time eh. So school, bahay, work lang talaga ako. So hindi ko naranasan yung mga sinasabi nilang places sa TAF, like yung mga inuman or whatnot. Hindi ko naranasan. Never! Kasi sabi ko, may taping ako bukas. So goodbye everybody. Ganon yung peg ko noon.
Oh, it's a first impression.
My first impression with you, I thought you were very talkative and very intelligent. But he had this confidence to him, and it was a confidence that I hadn't seen in a lot of guys that I was meeting at that time.
You never told me this. Where are you? Where is this coming from? I've never heard this before.
I'm just trying to reminisce a different
side
go
for
of the first time I met you because this is something that we've talked about multiple times, right? So I'm just trying to see where my headspace was at that time. Yun naman yung nasa isip ko now.
No, she was cute. I remember the very first time I saw Bones. We were in Republic. Was it Republic at the time? Yeah, it was Republic.
Oh my God,
remember?
Republic in Newport. Oh my God.
It was a club in Newport.
Yes, I'm very familiar.
And what's it called? We were rehearsing, so I was doing a show.
It was for Garage Magazine at that time.
The Garage Anniversary show.
Yes,
he was modeling.
So you might, I don't know, you might have been there.
Yeah, I was there, I think.
So it was rehearsals, and she was the host, and I was gonna walk, so I was the model, and I was hanging out with the boys on one end, and then in she comes with a sling bag and a grunge sleeveless top and
rocker.
jeans. And I was like, oh, hey, she's a cute girl. she was the only girl inside at the moment, but I was like, "Oh, she's kind of cute." So that was my very, very first impression of Bond.
Cute girl. You know, first impression
Nice
mo. Cute.
punk rock
Taray mo,
look,
girl.
yeah.
Cute girl ka. Cute girl.
Cute
Yeah.
Si
girl
Megan
talaga.
kasi,
Punk
like,
rock look. I
I
like
see
it.
her, syempre, si Megan kasi is one of the most transformative girls that I know. Not to say that she's a tomboy, but when I see her out of makeup, she's so, parang sobra siyang attainable, para siyang sobrang ano lang, parang like the rest of us. But when she puts on the glam, she's like, oh my God, I cannot even go near her. She is too much. Parang
Ay,
ganyan si
grabe.
Megan, di ba? Parang
Who
grabe
this?
yung dichotomy ng character ni Megan, di ba? Parang sobrang boy, parang one of the boys is biglang all of a
Yeah.
sudden glamazon. She is like that. She is one of the girls that are like that. That sobrang poles apart. How do you handle that, Mikael? That sometimes she's like, which do you prefer pala, by the way? Like the Megan that's very tomboyish, like one of the guys, like living with you and your brothers, or like the glamazon, Miss World.
I really like
basketball
what
couch.
I really like what you said there. You're one of the very few people who actually notice that
Yeah.
and who's gotten to know Megan from both sides and actually able to, voice that out
Yeah, because
Yeah.
and
G3's known
elaborate
me
on it.
since I was a teenager, basically.
Teenager girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's really nice. I like it. I like it. In the sense that when we're similar in that sense. Na when it's work mode. So she goes into this different persona, and for those who have the opportunity to get to know her outside of work, you kind of like realize like, oh my God, why is she like this? Why is she so different?
I'm such a
You
doofus
are not.
kasi.
That is not you. You on stage, as soon as you step off, is different. But I like it. I like it because I appreciate the effort that she puts in. So when it's work mode, she's in the zone, and yeah, for me, that's a huge plus.
So, parang
Yeah.
dalawa yung asawa mo, di ba? Parang, parang hindi na kailangan mag-roleplay. Isang beauty queen, tapos isang jowa, parang gano'n. Isang girlfriend, isang beauty queen, di ba?
That's a nice way of putting it.
Yeah, yeah. Was there ever a time when you looked at her and you thought na parang, oh my God, sobrang ka intimidated by her? Or was it always like, that's just bones?
No, no. You know what? There's this really interesting story which I shared. I shared this in the podcast
Really?
when she won.
Mm.
Ah,
So
yeah.
she won. She was abroad at that time. This is like the first week after she won, and I was in my room, and I tried to think about, okay, what does this mean? Of course, the normal
Yeah.
thoughts would come in. I mean, historically, the relationships don't work out after someone wins. Diba?
Yes.
Facts, diba? Facts, historical facts. So I thought about it. So I was like, okay, so what is this to me? What is this moment of hers, which is so yeah. Sorry, can you
Can you
are
hear
we
us?
with you?
Sorry.
Yeah, I can hear you
So I
now.
was
I can
thinking,
hear you
what
now.
does
What is
this
that moment for you?
what does this huge, what does this huge moment of Bonizi mean to me on a personal level? And it really could have gone so many ways. I was thinking, oh my God, are we gonna break up? Oh my God, she's gonna meet someone else. Oh my God, am I gonna meet someone else here? But I thought that, why don't I just take this as a challenge? She went out there, tried to be the best person she could be. So why don't I focus on what I'm doing right now and see how far I can take this? So I kind of used it as motivation to say, oh, okay, she kicked ass abroad. Let me try to kick ass wherever it is I am right now.
Very consistent also. And I think when you reach that kind of success, but you always like the world spins in an axis that is so fast that you need something to steady your eyes on. And I think that was Mikael for you, di ba, Megan? Di ba? Parang he was that something for you. So like when you won Miss World, the title, I mean, like you are the first and only Miss World. What was the first thing that you thought about in terms of your relationship with Mikael?
Initially, I didn't think about like the ups and downs of our relationship, but as soon as I got off the stage, we had an interview actually, and they were like, "Do you have a boyfriend?" And I had to think real quick if I was going to be open about my relationship with Mikael or not. But we had previously discussed na we would not be open about it no matter what just yet. Kasi he was taking care of his partnership, like his love team back then. And that was something that he really wanted to work on and be successful with. So in my respects to his work, sinabi ko dun sa interviewee, oh no, I'm single. So throughout
Sino yung
whole
love team
year.
niya? Si Lovie ba? Si Lovie?
He was partnered up with Andrea Torres
At that time.
At that time.
Ah,
So they
okay.
were each other's first love team in GMA at that time. So it was a very interesting part of both of our careers na parang, okay, love talaga is put in the background. Talagang work comes first.
Oh. So that was the situation back then, diba? Parang, when was it finally, like, you were both finally comfortable in, putting the relationship forward? Like, for you, Megan, and for you, Mikael, kailan nangyari yung point na parang, okay, I'm ready to come out with this. I'm ready to be proud of this relationship.
Oh, years later.
Ladies
Years.
first.
So if you want, oh, go for it.
Years later.
Years later. Yeah, I remember the date kasi.
Yeah, I don't
sige,
remember
sige.
the date, but we were just so open about it to the people around us na parang nakalimutan na namin na, oo nga pala, no? Parang we were keeping it on the down low for such a long time that nakalimutan na pala namin na patago na pala yung relationship na to. We just started posting. We didn't have any commitments to any love teams, to any, work like Miss World. I was done now with my reign. So I think for us, it really just happened naturally. And a lot of our friends from the press already knew. They were just waiting for our go signal to be open about it. So it was pretty much an open secret sa work natin.
Yes.
And wala, it just happened at the right time, I guess.
Yeah.
And
just to
Mikael
add
knows the exact date. You know the exact
He does.
date.
Yeah.
Because he's
Yeah,
the one that
before I-
told everyone.
Before I get to that story, just to add to Bonizi's point, what we realized, so eventually she got to get back home. We were able to talk and experience things. I was focusing on my stuff. She was focusing on hers. We also realized along the way, quite early in her reign, that having a relationship that is known publicly is not a prerequisite to have a successful personal relationship. And
wow.
the sooner we realized that, and the more we believed that, the more it just became easier. Because I understand, both of us being in showbiz, sometimes the line between personal and work, it really just blurs together.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. It happens talaga. Now,
Absolutely,
sometimes
100%. Yeah.
what's happening in the workplace, if you're in an emotional time of your life, it affects you. But for me and Bonizi, we were lucky enough to realize that it didn't matter to us whatever the public viewed us as.
Yeah, what was important to us was our bond and our relationship, and of course our values as individuals and as a couple. Kasi at the end of the day, kami naman yung mag-uusap. Kami naman yung mag-grow old together. Syempre, at that time, we were hoping for that. But, hindi pa kami kasal nun eh. So, hope na lang.
Yeah. But, I guess fast forward to the story of the date. It was actually 2017 or 2018.
2016, I think.
No, 2017.
Okay.
Legally Blind.
I don't remember.
So I was doing this show, this teleserie. 2017. I'm pretty confident. I was doing this show, this teleserie, and there was a press con. And like we said, everybody knew. Everybody in GMA knew because we were friends with everyone in GMA. Bonizi just finished Marimar. She had done her shows already.
Yes.
So we were talking, and then the press reminded me. They were like, ano ba pag-uusapan natin dito? So, hindi ko nga alam eh. And then isip ko, ay, teka lang, nabanggit na ba natin sa mga tao na kami na ni Bones? Sige, hindi pa. O sige, ito na yun. Ito na yung press ko na yun. And then as soon as I said that, all the reporters just like said, uy, Nick, ito na ba yun? Oo, ito na yun. I stood up and just came to me in my table. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. This is fun. So I mean, and we know all of them. We're friends with them. So we're like, oh, okay, this is it. So we had fun with it. And then I just messaged Bonizi that after the press con. I was like, hey, your Twitter is gonna blow up in like an hour.
Good luck na lang.
No, hindi ko sinasabi. I was like, you're gonna find out through Twitter.
What did you feel? How did you feel when that happened? Bones?
I think it was pretty cool and fun that it happened that way. I mean, kami naman we're so spontaneous. We don't really need to plan anything or have like any big announcement when it comes to that. And I mean, you could see that even through our own wedding na parang it just happened.
Right.
Diba? We were able to experience it with our family and our really, really good friends from, high school and college. And that's what was important to us. And then that's when we shared our news. So parang ganun lang din naman yun, is we got to enjoy being a couple around the people that we knew, that we worked with. And we were happy with that. And then we finally got to be able to share that with everyone else.
I think the great part about your relationship, it's so high profile, but still, incredibly private. Alam mo yun, parang a lot of people know about it, but yet not a lot of people know about it. I mean, like, I don't understand how that works, but you were able to make it work. Of course, I also have the good fortune of watching you guys work together as hosts. Parang I saw you, parang I think that was Miss World in Araneta. And I
Yes.
see you like when you're on cam and like behind, like when the spotlights are off, you're very, parang ina-assist niyo talaga yung isa't isa. Parang like, it's really teamwork. So like in the times that you work together, what comes first? The professionalism or like the personal care for each other?
Ooh, I think those two actually go hand in hand because
But,
we care so much about work, and that's like
Yeah.
number one priority for us. No matter what happens, no matter what situation we're in, kung magkaaway man kami, we have to push through with our work. So that's the number one priority. And if it so happened na during that night ng Mr. World na we were having a rift, of course we were okay during that time. But if we were not okay, talagang we'll push forward with it. We have to do our job. And then saka na natin pag-usapan yung mga personal na bagay.
yeah, I guess that's talking about a situation where if we were fighting, but on the flip side, which is when we're usually good with one
like
another.
95% of the time.
Definitely
I know.
professionalism is our top priority. We have to do our work properly. But the lambing that we have and care that we have for one another, we allow that to support the professionalism if there's an opportunity for that to happen. So what you saw maybe in that Miss World, during that Miss World in
Mr. World,
Araneta, yeah, so anong tawag dito? Yeah, we were just supporting one another if it's there. We did a teleserye together,
Yeah.
and that was
Yeah.
immensely fun. So
Yeah.
much fun.
10 months
It's so
together.
easy. It was so easy being with her. So yeah, we really like that.
Easy lang mag-kissing scene.
I guess what I want to ask is sometimes kasi 'di ba when you're together too much as a couple, 'di ba there is a time when you parang get sick of each other somehow. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
we're here.
Sorry.
Okay, so like sometimes when you're together too much as a couple, like when you're personally together, living together with each other every day, and then you have to work together pa. There comes a moment when you get like parang sick of each other, parang ano ba yan, ikaw na naman, ganyan. It never happens with you, no? Parang I have this impression that you never get sick of each other, like whether it's personal or professional, parang it's an ongoing happy process. How do you get to that point?
How do we get to that?
Maybe
Actually,
we got a bit lucky.
Nagkakainisan ba kayo?
Maybe we
Nagkakainisan
got a
kayo?
bit lucky.
oh, nagkakainisan din kami. But usually that happens when we're not doing our part with work. Like, admittedly, like if I have moments na I'm procrastinating and it's something that we need to do together, Mikael will be on me and of course he'll be upset kasi I'm not doing my part and I'm not being a team player, diba? But I think that we also allow each other to have our own space. Kasi 24/7 nga kami magkasama. We're doing
Correct.
most of our content together. I wake up, I sleep. Siya pa rin nakikita ko, and I love it. I honestly love being around Mikael so much.
Oh,
It's always like a breath of fresh air, even though I've been with him for 10 years. But I like it because, yun nga, I get to do my own thing, he gets to do his own thing, and we push each other to be better versions of ourselves all the time and push for what we want talaga.
Yeah, to add Bonizi's point, we're in the office right now, so it's a very small room. It's a very small room, enough for 2 desks. So the desks are side by side, and we could be on our desks on our own computers from like 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. working, playing, doing a bit of both at the same time, and not talk to one another at all. So we're physically together, but we're doing our own thing. Mentally, we're in our own headspace. So I think both of us have that ability, and I think that's helped. So I think others kasi parang they're physically together and naiirita sila dun sa physical space. Like they need physical space. For me and Bonizi, we don't need
Naiintindihan
that
kita kaya ako
physical
natatawa.
yeah, we don't need that physical distance. Having this mental space to be being to ourselves is actually enough. And I don't know how that happened. I think we just kind of got lucky with our personalities.
Yeah. Swerte na lang sa jive.
Yeah, that's comfortable silence. Diba? Parang you just can't, yeah, they're just there and then you're just there and things
Mm-mm.
work out even if you don't talk, even if you do your own thing. Diba? I think that's very fortunate.
Yeah.
I think you guys are very fortunate for finding that in each other. Not a lot of people find that, diba? Kasi parang sometimes relationships are so, parang passionate and everything na parang
Yes.
away, tapos bate, ganyan, ganyan. But yours is a stable kind and I think that helped a lot during the lockdown. I've been watching your branded content. Ang galing mo mag-shoot, Megan.
Oh, thank
Director
you.
ka
Thank
talaga. Sabi ko si
you.
Megan ang nag-shoot ito. Director talaga to. And of course, napapanood ko yung mga branded content nyo over the lockdown. Tapos natutuwa ako kasi alam ko talaga na ikaw yung gumagawa niyan. But of
Thank
course,
you,
diba, during the
GT.
lockdown, a lot of couples were quarantined together. A lot of couples were also quarantined apart. Would you say that you are fortunate enough to be quarantined together that you did not kill yourself or kill each other?
Oh wow. To be honest, am I gonna go? You ladies first.
Ladies first. Ako, I'm super happy that I had Mikael by my side during that time because
Mm.
it I would say that between the both of us, I tend to be a bit more emotional and I overthink a lot more than he does. Mikael is more of the parang you're more of you think because of facts. And then ako naman parang I'm like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen to me? I'm thinking of like a teleserye in my head with my life. So I'm glad that Mikael was actually there to pull me back down and tell me, Bonizi, this is real life and this is what
Yeah.
we have to do. Let's think of the right steps and breathe a little, okay? So let's be more realistic here with what we have to do. So thank you for pulling me back down to the ground
Aw,
level.
Cool, cool.
Fofo.
For me, I always, over the 10 years that we were together prior to the quarantine, I had always believed that Bonizi and I could be more than the sum of our parts. So us
Yeah.
being together could be something more. And I think that that was realized and that was intensified during the quarantine.
Mm.
That was like the test bed to really prove what I was thinking that, yeah, we are more than the sum of our parts. And during the quarantine, when we were pushed to look for alternative ways of working, pushing our digital content, producing at home, just looking for solutions to problems we thought we would never have
Yeah.
to answer. That is where I saw, and we both realized that, oh my God, this is so cool that we are together.
Yeah.
We work so well together,
Mm-mm.
and we can do so much more. And I think that where we are right now is a product of that process. And we're still ongoing, we're still iterating and always trying to improve. Pero we're able to produce at home.
Still shooting by ourselves.
I
Fantastic.
know,
Tayo
ang
pa rin.
galing. Ang galing nyo nga, ang galing
Kami
nyo.
pa rin
Yeah, so we're so
nagsushoot.
happy because it was a challenge that we were ready to face, and hopeful that maganda yung outcome, and true enough, we were more than some of our parts, and we want to build on that and continue that.
And it is such a clean, wholesome partnership. Very, very admirable and stuff like that. All the things that go with that branding, diba? Parang,
Thank
I
you.
feel like when I watch you two, like when you do your own branded content, it's so sincere and it's so simple and so you. It's just so the both of you. It's very characteristic of the two of you.
I'm sorry, I have to stop you there. Whatever you said there, this sincere and simple and sweet. That's exactly what we were going for. So we love
Yun
that you
nga,
said that,
that's
because
why.
I'm like, oh my God, no. I'm hitting the nail on the head.
Mikael is so kilig right now. You just made him super kilig.
But of course, also on top of all that, you had to plan a wedding at the height of quarantine. How were you guys able to pull that off?
You know, actually, we
Two
got married.
weddings.
Yeah, we got married 2 months
Before
before
quarantine.
quarantine. But our
Before.
first, yeah, just 2 months before. But our first wedding, yung 12 lang kami na nandun sa chapel.
The church was the church
Sa
wedding.
Kalarwaga yan? Yan ba yung sa Kalarwaga?
Yes. Parang na siyang quarantine wedding kung tutuusin. So, parang na-preempt yata yung mga wedding na ganon. But
Oo.
it was nice kasi we actually got to
Kaya
have
wala
just
pang
our family.
masks.
Wala pang mask kasi it was January 10,
Then
just before Taal erupted actually.
Oh,
So
wow. Ang swerte nyo. Oh my God.
yeah, we had
sweated twice.
these 2 weddings before big things happened. We're very lucky that we were able to push through with this big event on both occasions. But I would say wedding planning, how long? We planned for like a year, no, for our wedding.
Around.
In spurts. Pero Just totoo lang, hindi kami marunong mag-plan. So you're just like replying after like 2 months. We're the worst when it comes to planning. Kaya sabi namin, sige po, kayo na pong bahala. Basta gusto namin chill lang. Ito lang gusto namin. And then we just said yes, 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 yes. So yun lang.
Yeah, it's quite
It
chill.
was
The
such
planning
a
was quite
simple
chill.
wedding. Yes, go ahead, Mikael.
Yeah, the planning was quite chill. I think Bonizi and I, before we got into it, the whole planning process, we just said, okay, the goal is to have the planning process be a yes or no thing. So
Yeah.
the suppliers will come to us and talk to us, and
Right.
we just pick yes or no. Oh, do you want this, sir? Yes or no. Yun lang. So we tried to make the decision-making process as simple as possible, and it kind of worked out.
Yeah, because I basically made the decisions for most of the things that we
Yeah.
needed. And Mikael only had 2 requests. One
What?
request was
What are
that
the 2 requests? Yeah.
one request that Mikael had was that we have a coffee cart because we
Okay.
super love coffee. So sabi niya, I need an espresso machine wherever we are because I want our guests to have really good coffee. So that was one. And the second request that he had, because favorite talaga niya, sabi niya dun sa catering namin, gusto ko po ng halo-halo station.
Kailangan bongga ang halo-halo station.
Sabi niya, gusto ko
Kompleto,
bongga yung mga
kompleto yung mga
yung mga
sangkap.
Oo, kompleto. Pinalista pa niya sa akin. Nilista ko talaga parang
24 yata yung sahog na nalista ko eh.
So,
Madami, basta madami. Pero after nun, happy na ako. She could do whatever she wanted.
yeah, I just picked everything that I wanted na lang.
So parang like it was such a painless process, di ba? Parang kailangan lang ng kape at halo-halo. Parang hindi nga alak eh. Parang di ba, most groups, parang basta meron dyang Johnny Walker, basta meron dyang halo-halo and coffee. That is
Yeah, it was
fun. It was fun. We had a lot of water. Charot. Water.
water. Of
Water.
course, the 2 of you. What?
I was gonna say kasi well, we've mentioned this on the podcast, but we actually passed out mga 9:30 p.m. and 10:30 p.m. respectively
Oh my
during
God,
our
ang
wedding day.
aga.
Sarap ng water, grabe.
Sobrang daming water no? That's it.
Grabe, super.
Nakakahila yung water minsan.
Okay, so now, of course, that you're now the host of the brand new podcast, Behind Relationship Goals. Can you talk about that?
So Behind Relationship Goals started, when did it start? What year?
2 years ago.
At the end of 2018, and it was an idea that sparked up because our friend Sab and Jim had a podcast, and I was listening to Casey Neistat. And Mikael was like, "We need to probably put out a podcast. Let's try it out. Let's just tell stories like how we do in the vlogs." And we realized na people would comment, you guys are goals. You guys are like couple goals, relationship goals. Pero sa totoo lang, hindi naman lahat ng relationship perfect. Diba? There are always
That's true.
ups and downs. There are always things that couples may go through. And we decided, why don't we talk about the realities behind relationships? Because these realities are what make relationships stronger and what made our relationship stronger. So, pag-usapan natin.
Yeah, and just to add to that, it is also a function of coming from the vlog because a vlog at the time was like 5 to 10 minutes. And it was just never enough to tell the story, to tell the full story. So the podcast gave us a medium to really explore stories to its fullest extent.
Yeah.
So we would happily tell stories, and we also realized that is what Behind Relationship Goals, the podcast is. It's just us sharing our stories, and the audience can learn whatever they want by just picking out whichever aspects they like. So it's not an advice show. We made that very clear to ourselves from the get-go. We'll just share our stories because that's also how we learn. We learn from my cousins, my friends, our workmates through their stories and through watching their stories and listening to their stories. So we wanted to share our own experiences in that way through this podcast.
That's true. And of course, like being in a relationship for so long, ang tagal, like long-term relationship, you obviously know what it takes for a relationship to be successful. I just want to say that I've been such a fan of your vlog, like your travel vlogs, like your Japan. So, napakaganda naman ang editing na to. Grabe. Talagang kailangan ngayon, pag naghanap ka ng jowa, marunong mag-edit, di ba? Parang kasama na siya sa requirement, no, Bones? Kailangan, parang pag magkaroon ako ng jowa, dapat marunong mag-edit kasi kailangan ma-document everything, di ba? It's just so joyful to be able to share your journeys and your travels. But like you said, di ba, parang a vlog is different from a podcast because in a podcast, you can share so much more of your learnings, di ba? And you made it very clear that it's not an advice podcast, but just the same, I will ask for advice from you two. Hypothetical situations. Are you game?
Game. We're game.
Oh, sige, sige. First of all, what advice would you give to fellow newlyweds planning a wedding in the pandemic? Megan first.
I would say list down the people that you would initially like to invite. That's the first thing you do. And probably every week, just look at it again and again and see how much does this person know about me, about my partner, and our relationship. And I think that's the most important thing because the people that care about you and your partner and I guess your future together will enjoy seeing you both join hands in marriage. And I think that's the most important thing kasi a lot of people are focused on, I need to invite this person and that person. Eh kung ang habol lang naman nila pagkain, wag na lang. Diba? You want somebody that actually cares about you. Diba? Tsaka tubig. Ang mahal ng tubig, ha? So you want somebody that's there and knows the journey that the two of you have been together. And that would be my advice.
That's very smart. Very smart. What about you, Fofo?
Nice, I like that. For me,
contest, no?
what I'm gonna say might sound very simple, but I honestly think that it isn't. So my advice would be to choose to be happy. So what I mean by that is obviously in this pandemic environment, a lot of the dream weddings that some of the brides and even the grooms may have out there cannot be realized. Right. And if you choose to not be happy, you will focus on what you cannot have. But if you choose to be happy, you will realize that having that wedding and still being able to have your pinaka-loved ones around you is still such a beautiful memory in itself. And nothing can ever take that away from you after it's happened. So it's up to you.
Kinikilig ako, Fofo.
No, it's kasi wala ka nang magagawa. Just like me and Bonizi, it's not like we had an unlimited budget to plan our wedding.
Yeah.
We had limits. We had a guest count limit as well. There were friends and relatives who were not invited. But instead of focusing on what could not have been or what could have been and regretting, we chose to look at what is there right now and let's be the happiest we can be with that. So choose to be happy. It helps a lot. That mindset helps, at least for us.
Motto niya rin.
Yes.
Up to you guys. What you guys gonna choose?
Pero partida ka, mas marami kang kamag-anak eh.
Ang dami. Actually, you're 80 cousins, right? Total?
Yeah.
How many?
So 80 first cousins, so 50 on my dad's side.
Do you know all their names? You know all
their
names?
Yeah. I know all of them. Yeah.
Like if you see them, you know their names. You know,
Oh,
you
yeah,
can enumerate.
Yeah. Except for the babies now, because I think there are like 5 or 6 babies now. I haven't seen them, so if I see them, I'm like, who is that?
Okay, so you talk about babies. Like, what advice would you give to a couple, a newlywed couple, or a couple that has been married for a while, that want to have children but cannot conceive? What advice can you give? Mauna ka naman, Mikael. Fofo.
That want to have children but cannot conceive. Well, hey, let's be honest. Bonizi and I don't have a kid. We haven't gotten checked yet, so we don't know, right? I mean, it could be. It's in the realm of possibility that maybe we cannot conceive, or hopefully we can, right? So.
Are you guys trying? Are you trying?
Not yet.
Not yet.
You don't pala eh.
So we aren't yet, naman. But that we are very much aware that that is in the realm of possibility. So for those who realize that they cannot conceive, wow, that's tough. But the thing is, for me and Bonizi, I'll just focus on our situation, I guess. Regardless if we find out that we can or cannot, my love and my relationship with her does not change. It is not affected, and I've set that in my mind a long time ago.
Yan yung
And
nakakakilig.
that,
Diyan ako dapat kinikilig, ano?
Oh my, parang naiyak yata ako dun sa
Oo.
sinabi niya.
no, so that helps.
Your
That,
partner
that
should be enough. Your partner
yeah,
should
that
be
helps me. That helps me. Of course, this is me, and everybody is different.
Yeah.
But it is nice to be able to kind of figure out how you would react in that scenario para
right.
hindi ka magulat sa sarili mo at hindi ka rin magulat sa partner
Oo.
mo. But yeah, I can only really speak on our situation. So that's how I feel about it. Bonizi.
It's,
Would you love me less?
of course not.
Ah,
Of
okay,
course
cool.
not.
Oh!
I love you with my heart and soul. And, you know, like, well, it's a discussion that Mikael and I have had multiple times by
Really? Okay.
ourselves, with friends and family. And we're like, okay, do we want to have kids yet? And I think that's a discussion that always comes up before or even after you get married. It's something that friends and family always ask you, kailan ka ba magkakaanak once you tie the knot. And for us, we realize at this point, it's not not a priority for us at the moment. But if and when we do get there, then, you know, that's the beauty of it. But as of now, nakafocus kami sa isa't isa. And I think that's what's most important. That's the reason why I married you, is so that I could spend the rest of my life with you, whether or not we know what the future has for us.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, beautiful beauty queen babies in the future, Mr. and Miss Pearl.
We joke about it.
Yeah, oh my God. What would you
Like
say to
6'6".
Mikael? This is for you, Mikael. What would you say to somebody, a girl who is 30 years old and never had a boyfriend in her life? No boyfriend since birth.
Oh wow. What would I tell her?
Yeah.
First I would tell her, hey, you should try getting a boyfriend. It's quite the experience.
Wala nga, wala
Uh,
siya mahanap, kunyari, ganon. Marami kasi ganon.
Ay,
And
okay. So
is,
nahihirapan siya maghanap ng partner.
yes. Anong advice mo as a good-looking guy married to a international beauty queen?
Okay. So let me try to kind of like construct the
Sige,
situation
sige.
here. So I would assume that kung no NBSB, tama yun,
NBSB.
So
NBSB.
kung NBSB siya, I would assume that happened because maybe she fell into a routine, and then up until that certain age that she's in, maybe she just hasn't given herself an opportunity anymore. And without even realizing it, she's cut off all these opportunities to explore and for something new to happen. So I would say that she should look outside of her comfort zone. And I'm sure that's crazy
True.
scary for her. I'm sure it's crazy scary because if you've been in a routine and you don't even realize you've been in this routine that cuts off opportunity, actually telling yourself to go somewhere uncomfortable is crazy scary.
Nakakatakot.
Do it. Get a friend. I don't care how you do it. Okay, you can do it on your own. Do it with a friend. Do it with some cousins. But go out. And that, I think, is the first step, because you have to break that routine and just break that routine of your personality, shutting off and cutting off these opportunities. And once you're able to explore and adventure and see just this crazy side of life, oh my God, things could fall in place pretty quickly.
Oh my God, same tayo po. Ako, ang parati ko advice, change location. Leave
Yeah.
wherever you're at. You know, be brave. Diba? For you naman, Bones, what advice would you give to a guy who just found out that his long-term girlfriend is cheating on him and he doesn't know what to do, whether or not to continue the relationship or to break up with the girl, pero first time lang niya nahuli. Pero yung nag-cheat sa kanya, parang emotional yung relationship. What
Oh my
advice would
gosh.
you give that guy?
Oh my gosh, this is so interesting.
No, yeah, I've never heard this. I've never heard
Parati
a
kasi yung
question
guy
like
yung
that asked to
nag-cheat,
me.
diba? Parati kasi yung guy nag-cheat. Pero kasi marami ring circumstances na yung guy yung mabait, yung girl yung nagsistray. So what would you
Yeah.
tell the guy? What advice would you give him? Should he continue on with the relationship, forgive once, and then let things simmer? Or what would you actually tell him?
First time niyang nahuli, I would say talk to your partner. That's the first thing. It's such a difficult conversation to have with somebody that you love, but I think it's needed, because if you guys have that much trust and you've built a relationship for that long, I think you deserve to know parang ano yung nangyari sa relationship natin? Why did you go astray from what we built together, and why is it not working? So if that ever happened to a guy that I knew, I would say talk to your partner. It's something that you guys need to talk about. And if it doesn't work, then maybe there's somebody else that's meant for you. Maybe this happened for a reason, hindi mo alam, or maybe it will make your relationship stronger. Because I have had friends that have been through that situation,
Yes.
but they talked it out and it only made the relationship stronger. And for others, it might not have worked out. So see what works for you, honestly.
So you believe in second chances?
I do. I do believe in second chances.
Third chances?
Kailangan na pag-usapan.
Okay, for the two of you, what would you tell a couple who has reached the 7-year mark and don't know what to do, whether or not to get married, or like 7-year mark, 7-year itch? What would you tell that couple who come to you and ask you, we don't know what to do with this thing? Mikael?
Oh, okay, cool. For me, like again, I will just always revert back to our situation because it's something I can really speak to because I've experienced it. For me, I never counted the years, to be honest, with Bones.
Ang
I never
ganda mo,
counted the years.
girl!
I never counted the years, and I didn't have
Lumipas
to get.
yung taon. Oh.
I didn't have to get married to her either. Because I would always tell Bonizi that I only saw it as a label. Regardless if we got married or not, I wouldn't treat you any differently. Just because I got married to you doesn't mean that it's going to unlock a super duper love for you. No, I've been giving it since day one, dude. Right there.
Corona!
Getting married is going to unlock something that is not how it works. And I'm being clear and upfront with you right now. So for me, yun eh. So, I mean, if the wedding, honestly, and that label, it was more for our family. It was more for Bones, if that's what you really wanted at that time. But for me, you can slap whatever label. No boyfriend, jowa, married, not married. If I love this person and we're together and we decide we want to be together for X amount of years, then so be it. Let's make it happen, diba? We don't know what the future brings. Honestly, let's be honest, right? Especially when we were not married yet. Diba? Let's not think about the future. Let's think about now. You still want to be with me now? Yeah, I enjoy being with you. Yeah, okay, let's continue, dude. Why are we gonna stop?
Yeah, Mikael's a firm believer in giving your all when it comes to love. So from the very beginning, he made that clear to me na I will give you 110%, 1,000% of myself to you no matter what.
Marami bang ganyan?
I
Marami
don't
bang
know.
kapatid, diba?
Marami akong kapatid. So yeah, possibly.
Wow, jackpot ka, girl. In fairness. Jackpot din siya, of course, diba? Parang, oh my God, I did not know that. I thought that like marriage was equally important to you guys. But I guess that's a brand new way of, like putting a thinking about it. It doesn't have to be marriage to prove to you that I'm going to give you 100%, 110%, like you said. And ikaw, Megan, like what was your attitude about marriage before and during the time you met Mikael?
I thought, well, going back to what Mikael said, na just because we get married, it doesn't mean you're going to unlock like an extra portion of love. Like there's no cherry on top.
Hindi siya nag-elevate pag kinasal. You don't go to a higher plane when you get married. It's the same.
Not for us.
Not for us.
Okay.
We were so open na kasi with each other. Like everything that you think a married couple would talk about, like finances, like investments, and like building a family together. These are things that we discussed while we were boyfriend and girlfriend. So it didn't really matter to us kasi mag-boyfriend and girlfriend pa lang kami, engaged pa lang kami, nagpaplano na kami because we made a commitment together and pinanindigan namin yon kahit hindi pa kami kasal. So we treated our relationship as if we were already married. So may sing-sing man o wala, we actually don't even wear our wedding rings because for us, it's really about our commitment together. And also, I don't like wearing jewelry. So
I'm gonna lose the ring.
We're gonna lose it.
Okay lang yung lalaki, okay lang naman, diba? Parang ganon. Wow, I did not know that. That's very refreshing to know. I think that's very reflective of like boyfriend, girlfriends nowadays, diba? It doesn't require a label, diba? Parang there are parang a lot of young people that really don't know what's happening, like parang everything except for the label. Do you
Yeah.
think in this day and age, especially with what's happening in the world right now, that labels are very important? And if they are, would you say that the time you put a label on a relationship is the time after you've both said that you love each other?
Oh, we didn't even say that we loved each other when we got together.
Oh yeah,
We
no.
just
No?
wanted to be, no, like, I didn't love him back then. I really liked him, pero hindi ko pa siya
Like parang, oh
love.
my God, this boy is so cute, hot, like, you know, but
Yeah.
yeah, I just
Like,
wanted
I'm just gonna date one guy. Parang ganun pa lang nasa isip ko. I was only like 20 years old when I met
I
Mikael, and
know, yeah.
he was 22. So parang for us, it was really, okay, we're gonna say that we're boyfriend and girlfriend so that we're just dating each other and no one else. And basically, our commitment started there. But when we go back to what you're saying about labels, I think what's important is you communicate with this person that you're dating kung ano bang nakikita mo sa relationship niyo. And it was very clear to us from the beginning that we wanted to enjoy each other's company. We wanted to get to know each other more and no one else on a romantic level. Ikaw.
Yeah, I think labels have a significance and have a
Mm-mm.
place in
Yes, yes.
the lives of individuals, and more importantly in society. It
Mm-mm.
makes
Kailangan,
life
kailangan. Oo.
Mm-mm.
easier to
Yeah.
go through and easier to communicate with others. But if we're gonna zoom into just our relationship again, I mean, putting a label on it is insignificant for me, whatever label that is, because I will never ever be able to explain the 10 years worth of experiences that Bonizi and I have shared to
Mm-mm.
you. You can say that we are married, you can say that we're boyfriend, girlfriend, you can say we're 10 years together, you can slap whatever label that is, and I will never ever be able to explain the feelings that I've felt from 10 years of
Ang
being with
ganda
her.
ni Megan
So I'm
niya!
like,
Parang sasabog yung puso
no,
ko.
but I know you understand. I know you get me on this.
Yes, I
But
understand. I can
how?
feel it.
Like,
Yeah.
how do you do that? So that's why the label, the wedding, you have a baby, you don't have a baby, you can conceive, you can't conceive, all these things said, I mean, it never discounts the fact that the 10 years of experiences are like, oh my God, amazing. Yeah. But yeah, you get me. It's so hard
I
to
get
put
you, I
into
get you, I get you.
words. Yeah,
Mabuti na
yeah.
lang maraming daes, no? Magkalat pa kayo ng lahi nyo, no? Ang dami kasi ng daes, di ba? Parang ganyan. And I guess as a final question, because it's already an hour, can you believe it?
Yeah. Oo nga eh, chika natin.
As a final
Time flies, time
question,
flies.
what for you guys are relationship goals? Like, give me 3, like each. Salet-salet. So, mauna ulit si Megan.
Sorry, what was that again? Can you say that again?
What are relationship goals for you? Like 3 characteristics of a relationship that is goals for all of us. 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go, Megan.
Okay.
Okay.
For me is honesty. Kailangan
Okay.
honest ka down to the bone. As in, everything that you probably feel and think, you should share with your partner, because I feel like this is one person that won't judge you, that will be there for you through and through. And that's exactly what our relationship is all about. Honest kami. Kahit na masakit yung honesty or nakakahiya, sinasabi ko kay Mikael yan.
For me,
Yeah.
having coffee.
Okay, having coffee. What kind of coffee do you like?
Having coffee because
What kind of coffee
we
do
brew
you
our
like
own
first?
coffee, all kinds of coffee.
All
We
kinds,
brew
oh.
our own in the morning, so we have pour over, or sometimes we have an espresso. We have an espresso machine now. It's new, just a year old. So
Ay, congrats!
thank you. So we have what we feel, but I tell Bonizi, dude, if I can have coffee with you in the morning, I'm happy. Every day, I'm good. That's as simple as it
Ganda
gets
ni
for me.
Megan niya. Super pretty.
Yeah. So
Ang daming
yeah.
quotable quotes tonight.
Coffee,
Girl, kape lang ang kailangan ng jowa mo. Kape lang kailangan ng jowa mo.
Oh,
Happy na
sige,
siya.
gusto mo kape na ngayon.
Coffee is an
Pagkatapos
essential.
nito, gagawan ko siya ng kape.
Coffee is an
kailangan
essential
mo na
part
siyempre.
of relationship goals. Okay, Bonnie,
Girl.
you're up next.
Kape lang ang kailangan.
Alam mo na,
Okay,
every
number-
time my birthday, Christmas, kape lang.
Oo, bilang mo lang siya ng mga bala. Nung ano. Goals!
Okay.
Number 2, relationship goals.
Number 2 relationship goal for me is being silly. if you can be
Ang social ng
your
being silly.
being silly.
Yeah.
But being silly would be more of not being conscious about anything and
Not taking yourself seriously, right?
yeah, just enjoying the moment. And you can make the funniest face, and he'll just he'll forgive me this look, even if I'm
Oh,
super
funny
derp.
face daw. Paano daw yung funny face?
Wala. When I wake up in the morning, funny na yon. And then he'll just look at me like, "Oh, you're so cute," but I feel like deep inside, I'm such a derp right now. But I think if you can be silly with your partner and you're just gonna be happy about it, that's a relationship goal for me.
My turn. Know what you want. Know what you want. I think knowing what you want and if that's attainable, helps you figure out where your life is headed with the person. So know what you want as a couple and individually. I think that helps extremely. Like I said, you can take away everything I have right now. Take all the money in my bank account. I said seriously, and I tell Bonizzi this.
He tells me, and I feel like I'm gonna cry every time he
Let's
says
just have as long
this.
as we have coffee in the morning, I'm good. Because some people they want their cars, some people they want their watches, and these are really nice to have things. I'll admit, I've driven a nice
Yeah.
car, I've seen a nice watch, but the thing is, you need to figure out what's going to make you happy, and I think that's more of a choice, to be honest with you.
That's
I
true.
think it's more of a choice to figure out, okay, because a lot of things make you happy, but figure out what it is you want to make you super happy, and I've made my choice. So, and that helps me.
Sobrang dali ng life ni ganyan. Sobrang dali ng life. Pag birthday, Christmas, bibili lang siya ng kape.
Literally, actually.
Sobrang dali ng buhay mag-work.
Oh my gosh, kinikilig ako.
Sobrang dali ng life mo, in fairness to you. And finally, what is the most important characteristic of having a relationship goal?
For me, the most important is that you make your partner a better person. You strive to make your partner a better version of themselves every day.
Growth!
Think of something else now. Think of something else. I said it first. So, to be honest, I think it's really something that both Mikael and I resonate and that we practice every day is not only do we work on ourselves individually, but we also work as hard as possible to help each other improve in areas na baka hindi natin nakikita. Maybe we don't notice that, like me, baka I might be a brat sometimes and Mikael calls me out, or Mikael might say the wrong thing and I call him out. So it's nice to have somebody that is always helping you become a better version of yourself every day.
Okay, fine. Since I had to think of something else, I would say it would be to make the most out of life. And as vague as that sounds, I have a good way of kind of defining that. Make the most out of life in the sense that I just said that I could have coffee in the morning and be happy every single day. But obviously, that's not the only thing that I do because there's so many opportunities that life throws at you. And I've made a decision to always try to make the most of whatever life throws at me, even though the baseline for happiness is already extremely simple, not low, but extremely simple and attainable. So I think other people, they say that, oh, okay, I'm happy, dito lang ako, but they're actually masking that they're just trying to play it safe. But the thing is, life and all its beauty usually comes out when you push forward and try to make the most out of things. So make the most out of life.
That's wonderful. That's very smart. Mas maganda yung sagot niya.
Oh,
But, okay, sige. As a final question, and I know you just had a birthday. Happy birthday, Miss World. What is your wish for yourself and what is your wish for Bones? So, Megan muna, what is your wish for yourself? Para may time siya mag-isip.
Ooh, my wish for myself is that I'm always constantly improving on what I need to, because I feel like there is no end goal specifically for things that we want in life or things that we want to achieve. So my wish for myself is that I'm always striving to improve, and every day sana may madiscover akong bago sa sarili ko.
That's wonderful. Constant growth. What about you, Fofo? What is your wish for your wife?
I'd like to give a super
one
quick...
and only Miss World of our country. What is your
I'd
wish?
like to give a super quick backstory to my wish
sige,
before
go.
I say it.
Okay lang,
so
take
in
your time.
the past year and a half maybe, ang luho ni Bonizi is mechanical keyboards. Okay, so you guys can look it up. Whoever's listening, look
What
it
a
up.
dork! What a
These
dork!
these are expensive pieces of equipment, and specifically the keycaps. So keycaps can get really pricey in the 5-digit range.
Oh wow,
Surprisingly,
really?
for one keycap, okay, to the point that it's priced that way because you need to join raffles, and then you have the chance to buy the keycap. So my wish for Bonizi is that she never win a keycap raffle again. Because she won twice yesterday, and we have to pay for it. And I'm like, wait a minute. She joins every single keycap raffle. So I was like, I don't want all of these things at the same time.
I have
What
to
are you
defend
thinking?
myself. I have to defend myself.
I'll give her
This is my wish for you.
It was my birthday. It was my birthday, and I joined 10 raffles.
Give her a chance for rebuttal. Okay.
Diba?
Okay, go.
I joined 10 raffles. It was my birthday. Sabi ko, birthday ko to. Kailangan manalo ako. Mali ko ba? Never ako nanalo sa raffle. So I was like, sali tayo 10. Eh, nanalo ako like 3 out of 10. So, good luck na lang sa bank account.
So I was like, okay na yan. How many keycaps do you need? So I was like, I wish you never win a keycap raffle again.
Okay lang
That's
yan.
so
Para
sweet
tipid
though.
din.
That's very unique. That's very sweet. And I want to thank you for giving us a glimpse of what it's like to have a very successful relationship, an 11-year relationship where you're both equals, equally hot, equally good looking, equally committed to what you do. And I hope that there are like 10 times 3, 5, 10 more. Thank you so much for giving me the time of day.
Thank you,
so much,
G3.
Mirna. Thank
Thank
you so much.
you. Oh, can I just
Mikael,
say something?
let's
One
go
last
into-
thing.
Oh, what? Go.
Can I say one last thing?
Yes, of
thank
course,
you
go.
for this chat because I absolutely appreciate your questions.
Yeah.
I think that's a low-key, super-duper cool skill to have, being able to strike up conversation and interview people really well. So really, really, really good job. Props to you.
Thank you. I'm
Thank
very
you,
flattered.
G3.
Tell us finally about like when we can tune in to Behind Relationship Goals.
Yes, you can tune into Behind Relationship Goals on YouTube and on Spotify every Sunday at 6 p.m. And don't forget, we also have our vlogs. That's at Mr. Mikael Daez on YouTube.
Yeah, and we will post the vlogs whenever we feel like it.
Yeah.
Abangan nyo na lang, parang ganyan. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
I hope to see you both soon, and I hope
Yes.
this is over soon, so like we can all go back to
Okay.
normal.
All right. Well, you have a good night, G3. I know you have
You
another
too. You have a good
interview
night.
pa.
Good night. Bye.
Good
Thank you for the
night.
time with tonight.
Love ya. Bye.
Love you guys. Bye.